Really, I come from the psychedelic age, and I realized I was an artist from a young person. From 7, I went to art school and learned how to draw still lifes and portraits. But when I got to college, I realized that there's a deep unconscious inner world you could tap into. And I did that, and I started making psychedelic paintings in the 60s. And then I realized there's a really nourishing, rich vein of material in your unconscious mind flow. And I developed really kind of alchemical techniques of conjuring images as a young man. I can tap into the flow by trusting my unconscious. And the hand, my left hand, is probably the best way to tap into the unconscious flow. Just trusting, it's like a doodle, you just keep extending into knowingness. So recently I've been, I would say, conjuring, pencil drawing images of consciousness, because I realize we live in an age right now that started out for me in the 60s in psychedelic drugs and art and the whole romance of living an idyllic life pushed me into wanting to build a visual world that showed that there's another place beyond this gravitational pull of life. So thus, I'm a visionary artist expressing my times, caught in the middle of being a human being and also slightly spiritually advanced being that has the ability, like musicians and dancers and poets, to express their deepest and highest human nature. And then my twin Larry is a righty and I'm a lefty from jump, which means from birth. And so when I got to first grade, you know, they wanted to change me. My mom wouldn't let them. And then I realized that earlier on, I started to write prolifically backwards, like mirror writing. And that is why I started to sign my paintings at 19 saying Peter backwards, because I was a mirror writer, lefty mirror writer. And then later on, I started to write cursive writing and became a pretty good scholar student. But when I got back to doing art, I realized the left hand, like Leonardo said, makes visible the invisible, because it taps into the unconscious flow and the right brain, which is the seat of all intuition and imagination, which is something that I really look to develop, even in children. As Einstein said, our greatest gift is the human imagination, and to develop that, which I've tried to develop my entire life, and in other students. I have three people I'm mentoring who are visionaries: an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 1-year-old, all of them have visionary genius in them. And one of the things I want to do in the future, by making art, but also allow people to tap into their unconscious flow of their imagination and keep the evolution going in the human species. I'm trying to put more humanity into my visionary paintings, because wow, we're at a crux now in terms of who we really are. Is this a dream we're living? Or are we going to wake up from this? We have an incredible society now that's taking on just about everything. Everything's possible. So for me, as a visionary painter, poet, artist, I want to portray a vision that is light-filled and beautiful, and there's no horror in it. There's no vision of Holocaust. There's a vision of transcendentalism. There's a being in all of us, a divine being. And what I think we're doing is heading toward that. In my art, I just want to verge on that just spark of consciousness through my drawing. I think I can render it out better in drawing, and then the painting, as Leonardo, takes care of itself. And I'm a great painter. I started painting at 6 years old in oils, messing around on the floor with oil paint. My mom let us do all kinds of stuff. So someday I have a show and people come in, and there's no doubt in anybody's mind that they've got something clicking that's a higher language than they've ever seen. And I want kids, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, to go, holy God, what is that? And I want older people to go, I've never seen anything like that, depicting the human spirit, depicting the human predicament, and also the joy of transcendence. So this is a goal of mine, and if I can just flicker one little spark off of drawing or a painting, or maybe a roaring forest fire of visualization and realization, that would be my goal. These are all pencil drawings. What I'm trying to do is conjure the unconscious through a presence that I make up as I go. So these are basically, I start with a distorted face that looks like it's out of this world, and then I build up into the inner world of a visualization of your unconscious flow.